ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Arjuna asked 3 questions. What is the nature of a Gunatita? How he conducts? And how did he become Gunatita? First, Krishna explained what is the nature of Gunatita. And then he moved on to explaining his behavior, how he operates, how he deals with the world, and how he deals with his own mind. There are 2 aspects are there. One is how you treat the world. Another one is how you treat your own mind. So in essence, he says he maintains that objectivity with reference to the world, also with reference to his own personality. There's no change. He maintains the same stance. That's what he says, samatvam. Samaha. The sukha, dukkha, all these pairs of opposites. Everything he treats alike, equal, external or internal. So first, he said he will have the gunas. It is not that guna atita means he will not have any guna in him. He will have those gunas, but then his outlook towards that guna is different. As a result of which, he is not affected by the consequences of those gunas. Right? The one who is dominantly sattvic will be affected by sattva guna. The rajasic will be affected by rajoguna, tamasic will be affected by tamoguna. Whereas the gunatita is one who will treat everything equal. Because of that objectivity, he is not dependent on any external objects. Now again we get into trouble here. When we say he is not dependent, immediately people ask, if he wants to eat, what he will do? Right? You have to eat from outside only, no? You are wearing specs, no? You are dependent on specs. You are dependent on doctor. You are dependent on this dependent. Say we need to immediately ask this question: dependent for what? You see, dependency for what? He is not dependent. Whereas sattvic person will be dependent on sattvic conditions. Rajasic person is dependent on rajasic things. Tamasic person dependent on tamasic. Gunatita is not dependent on anything. You say we get confused. Or does it mean he will not have? So, but you have to be dependent on the external for your survival. Right? For your survival, you have to be dependent. There's no choice. Otherwise, the only option is Gunatita should die. So the moment you become Gunatita, what will happen to you, sir? You will die instantly. Suddenly you will disintegrate. You will disappear. It's not like that, please. Then for what? That's where this verse 24, he gives this beautiful explanation. His It's not dependent on the external situations for him to feel fulfilled, for him to feel the fulfillment is not dependent on external. For your survival, you are dependent. For you to live, you need external. You can't survive without it. So he says, then for what you are not dependent? You are not dependent for that feeling of trupti. Otherwise, there is always that atrupti is there. You always feel something missing. He never feels trupti with whatever is there as it is. You say, yeah, everything is fine, sir, but a very interesting word, I love you, but huh? But I love you. It's a word or difference, no? Same words only. Just the positioning of it. Hey, I love you, but you put a comma and say, but there's a difference. You use the same word, the beginning, but I love you. Meaning a where. See, same way, this fulfillment. All of us say, yes, I am fulfilled. But comes. For him he says what? Exactly opposite. We all say, I love you, but he says, but I love you. Doesn't matter. Whatever you are, doesn't make any difference. Whatever you do, whatever you say, I continue to shower my affection. Adan trupti. He maintains the trupti. But for you to survive, you need the world. See? So he says, he to whom joy and sorrow are same, rooted in the self. Another catch. The operation word is that. Swastha. Swastha means the one who is rooted in himself. Means the one who remains happily within himself. With himself. As he is. We are also happy with ourselves when something happens. See, sometimes. See, sometimes you are happy with ourselves. No, wow, you are great. You're good. Something you do, you feel so great about yourself. You feel good about yourself. But for all those things, something has to happen. He says none of those things. As he is happy. How? Because of that objectivity that he maintains. That objectivity. Sakshi. The difference between the sattvic person and gunatita. Sattva guna pradhana. That's called sattvic. The one who is dominantly sattvic. Predominantly sattvic person will develop sakshi bhavana. Right? Whereas gunatita has become sakshi swarupa. That's the difference. Translation, I don't know how to do. You take it as it is. Because many times, people say, the Sanskrit words we don't understand, as though you understand English words. Say, Sanskrit you don't understand. Sakshi Bhavana and Sakshi Swarupa. Difference between predominantly sattvic person and Gunatita. Because it's a very, very subtle difference between these two. Very difficult to decipher a sattvic person from Gunatita. So, how do you identify that, sir? The only way to identify is to see whether he is having Sakshi Bhavana or he is Sakshi Swarupa. Sakshi Bhavana, Sattva, sattvic person. Sakshi Swarupa, Gunatita. So you will find all the descriptions we are giving about Gunatita will have the resemblance of a sattvic person also. Sattvic person also will have all these things. So very difficult to distinguish. That's why externally it is impossible to say whether a person is, whether a person is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic is easy to say. There's no difficulty. People think, oh, very difficult to say who is a sattvic person, sir. Not difficulty, very simple that is. Very simple. That's not a complex one. You just have to observe them for a period of time. You see them for a period of time, you'll know whether the person is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. That's very easy if you have knowledge. With knowledge, you have to see. Without knowledge, you can't do anything. It's like if you take me to the lab and ask me to see, through this microscope, I will also see all that is crawling there. But I will not know the difference. What is what? You see? So I will also say what? Oh, it's very difficult to decipher. Why? Because you don't have knowledge. If you have knowledge, what is it? Because to naked eye, all blood samples look same only, no? All blood looks same. But then the fellow says this is O positive, this is AB negative, B1 positive. Now, how they identify, I have no idea. If you keep all those 4 blood samples and ask me to see, I will also see, but I can't identify what is what. Why? You have not studied biology. If you have studied biology, you will know. Similarly, we say we can't identify who's a sattvic person, who is a tamasic person, sir. That means what? You have not studied chapter 14. Simple. Chapter 14, chapter 17, chapter 18. Bhagavad Gita. 14, 17, 18, if you have studied, you will know who is sattvic, who is tamasic. Entire Bhagavad Gita you study, still you will not know who is Gunatita. I repeat. Chapter 14, 17, 18, if you study properly, you will know who is sattvic, who is rajasic, who is tamasic. Right? Even if you study entire Vedanta Shastra, you will not be able to know who is a Sthita Prajna, who is a Gunatita. See, three personalities he explains here in the Gita. Sthita Prajna, Parabhakta, and Gunatita. All three same. Sthita Prajna is equal to Parabhakta is equal to Gunatita. Who is that? You will never be able to identify. You will know. If you have become Gunatita, you will know you are Gunatita. If you have become Sthita Prajna, you will know you are a Sthita Prajna. There's no way that you can issue certificate to another person. That's impossible here. That's why the distinction is, because it will look very similar. Because all these ideas we have seen already. You see, the one who is joy, sorrow are same. Whom a cloud of earth, stone, gold are same. To whom Pleasant, unpleasant are alike. The wise, dhira, to him censure and praise are alike. All these things you can apply to a sattvic person also. You see, he will also have all these things. He is not going to be moved by this pleasant situations or unpleasant situations. That's what he says, priya, apriya, pleasant, unpleasant, pleasant, unpleasant situations, external situations. Sometimes there are pleasant situations, sometimes weather is very pleasant, sometimes it is very harsh, very rough. You see, sometimes it is nice, sometimes it is really irritating. Sometimes class is good, sometimes class is boring. You should be alike. I know all of you are that way. Doesn't make any difference. Good class or lousy class doesn't make any difference. 25.
Sir, this depending on external, not depending on external, that's only the worldly and physical things, not the knowledge or
For all. Even for knowledge, you are dependent, no? If I have to speak to you, you are dependent on English language, which is not yours. If I have to communicate, I'm dependent on English language, which is not mine. I'm dependent for all. Example wise, we give simple example, which is physical. So it's easy to understand. So we give that example. Always, it's a rule. I have told you several times. All examples we give will be how? Like maths teacher. He will solve the easiest problem on board. Homework will be a tough problem. That's how you will learn maths. If you say, no, sensible thing to do should be what? Difficult problems he should solve on board. Easier problem he should give you as homework. That teacher we all of us will like, but you will not learn mathematics. Now you have to decide. You want to learn mathematics or you want to enjoy the class. If you want to enjoy the class, then teacher should solve the difficult problems. Same formula we follow here. Easy things we solve. Difficult things we'll say, you have to do manana. You have to reflect, we'll say, and push off. Standard practice of all teachers. That's a way to learn. You see, that is what my guru did to me. And that's exactly what his guru did to him. You see, that's a Guru Shishya Parampara. Parampara has been like that. So physical example only we give, always. Most of the time we'll give only the emotional examples, intellectual example, the psychological things, very, fine dimensions of it, we don't go into. Because it makes it all the more difficult to understand the idea. After understanding the idea, it should be easier for you to expand it to other concepts.
मानापमानयोस्तुल्यः तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी गुणातीतः स उच्यते मानापमानयोस्तुल्यः तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी गुणातीतः स उच्यते.
Alike in honor and dishonor, alike to friend and foe, relinquishing all undertakings. He is said to have crossed over the gunas, qualities. The standard, typical Upanishadic style of speaking. Uchyate is said to be. See, I am not saying. Yeah, otherwise, just now I explained to you, you can't give certificate to another person, including Krishna. Including Krishna can't give certificate. Krishna University has given a certificate that I am Gunatita. Is there a university? Krishna University irka? Gita University irka? Krishna University. Alike in honor and dishonor. See, the previous verse, he spoke about, praise and censure. Verse 24. Now he is saying honor and dishonor. Same thing, na? See, there's a difference. The fine difference between the two. The last verse, he is talking about how you are treated through vak. Honor and dishonor through body language, behavior. See, a difference. You could be treated either ways. The words may say one thing, but your body language will show something else. You see, the way you are treated. That's what he's referring here. Through this mana, apamana yoga. In honor or dishonor. Way of treating. People treat you like that. The way they serve coffee. You'll know. A tamasic person will not bother about the way it is, given and all that. He will look into what? If coffee is good or bad, that's all. If coffee is good, I don't care. How? Tamasa. You can't call that as objectivity. So here, he doesn't care about how the world is going to treat him. He is alike to friend and foe. Another beautiful idea. Of course, all these are all opposites. Essentially, all this referred to is the pairs of opposites exist in the world. And he gives few examples. That's all it is. This friend and foe. See, as far as he is concerned, he is going to treat everyone alike. Is it possible? Is it possible to treat everyone same way? That's an impossibility. Then what is he saying? Alike friend and foe means what? There is no personal disposition. A particular outlook he has. Not the way in which he is going to be treating them. The treatment will not be the same. How can you treat the managing director of a company and his driver same? That's not possible. You can't give same salary, no, to both. CEO of the company and his driver. Same salary. No, you give different salary, no. Now you can't say, oh, you have to treat everyone alike. Extreme examples. Friend and foe he gives is the extreme examples. He doesn't carry any one. But then what he is referring to is not that. See, that's not what he is referring to. What he is referring to is the world will treat him as friend and as foe. You see, and the world is treating you as friend, the world is treating you as foe. He sees both equal. He is not treating them equal. He treating them equal is an impossibility. To say that even he is having an equal outlook towards all those people is, from my side, is one. Right? But then you reciprocate, no? How the world is going to reciprocate? Because the world is going to see the others may look upon him as a friend or as a foe. I may not look, but if the other person looks, what I have to do next? Because life is not a single transaction. Remember, it's not singular transaction we have in life. We have constant interactions happening. You act, reaction. For that reaction, there is action. And then for that, there is a reaction. For that reaction, there is a reaction. And then there is a reaction. And then there is a reaction. And then there is a reaction. This is what life is. The initial action can be from outside, or the initial action can be from your side. It doesn't matter. But life is always what? How many of you have traveled last year? Flight. International. You have traveled? You traveled? Where? Huh?
One.
Bali. When? Last April. Flight was full. Who was sitting next to you?
My own friends.
Next to that person? Front of you? Behind you? People are sitting, no? You saw them, right? You had eye contact with them. You smiled at them. They smiled at you. And then? Last week I'd been out. They're coming back. The train, there's an old couple. I don't know how they saw that. The moment they saw me, that both of them started, falling all over me. Like, a man started talking to me in Kumbakonam station. Finally, I had to give up and said, I have to sleep. Night 9:30. This is 5:30. Okay, 6 o'clock. From 6 o'clock to 9:30, those two were talking. We have come to the point there both of us belong to same Gotra. Right? Fortunately, I was having beard and all that, so it was okay. Otherwise, they would have asked my horoscope long. She was not there with me, alone. You this, you that, my son was this, my son, daughter was this, my grandson is doing this, my neighbor is doing that, I was doing this, you are doing it, what were you doing? Only thing I said was, I'm doing research. Easiest way to escape. Nobody will ask on what you are doing research. So far, I have given this answer at least to around, average minimum around 1,000. No one has turned around and asked me, என்ன research பண்றேன்? Nobody asks. Easiest way to give answer. What are you doing? Research. What are you researching? On myself. Searching myself. அவ்வளவுதான். அதான் research. What's going on? Do you ever remember them? Even I guarantee, even if that man sees me on the road, he will not recognize me. Those experiences do not become part of your life, remember. What becomes part of your life is only those interactions that you have with the world which are repeated. So from my side, first step is what? From action from my side is what? My disposition internally is equal. But the other party may not be like that. See, so he is going to see me either as a friend or a foe. So when he sees me as friend or foe, how I'm going to look at that? That's where he says, alike to friend and foe. Not he sees them. He sees them, not that is internal condition. The topic here is not that. How he behaves, what is his achara, how he conducts, how he treats the world. How he treats the world. He says, doesn't matter however the world treats me, I don't care. You can treat me any way you want. I don't care. You don't absorb their action into yourself. That's the meaning. You do not internalize their emotions or their actions and take it to yourself. How can he feel that I am bad? After all, I'm such a good fellow. There's none of those things, man. Their emotions or their actions. How they feel towards you doesn't matter. How they act towards you. You are a great benefactor. One group of people say. Another group of fellows say what? He is the most arrogant fellow I have ever met in my life. And it is so interesting that the person who once said he is the greatest, the same fellow says he is the worst. I've seen both. It's unbelievable. You know. But that's how it works. You should be able to see that person same way you treat. When you are saying you are the greatest, also when he says you are the worst fellow in the world. I like to see them. The way they see. How that is possible is because you don't internalize the whole thing. You don't take it within yourself. Internalization means that you take it and you replay within you. How can he say that? Oh, they like me a lot. They prefer me over the others. Like all this, none of those things. Sarvaramba Parityagi. Tyagi, Parityagi, Aramba Parityagi, Sarva Aramba Parityagi. It's a beautiful construction. Language is also beautiful. In English, you don't get it that way. If you literally translate English, it will look boring. Sarva, all. Aramba, beginning. Pari, completely. Tyagi, relinquishing. Relinquishing completely everything started. Yeah. Look, it's a translation. I'm not explaining. Translation. But in Sanskrit, it's beautiful to hear. Sarvaramba Paritya. This ability to relinquish. First, you need to understand what's the meaning of Aramba. And then prefix it with Sarvaramba, qualify. Then Tyaga. And then Parityaga. Follow how you decode, how you have to understand these words is like that. Right. First, understand the word Aramba. Then you can understand Sarvaramba. What is the meaning of all starting, all beginning, all undertakings? What is Aramba means? Aramba means any particular action performed, commenced with a particular result in mind. All this is important. Particular action commenced with a particular result in mind, achieving which I will look totally different from others. That's called Aramba action. You're undertaking something means what? You're taking up something for a particular result, achieving that result, you will stand out from the rest. Correct. If everybody gets it, there's no thing. You also ran, No, that's not how I want to do action. Always we wanted to do something which is a specific action, a a specific result which will make me feel that I am doing something, I am contributing something which is not done. Nobody is explaining Bhagavad Gita the way I am explaining. You see, you start a class, you start teaching Gita with the idea of what? A particular action. And I say that through this exposition, I am going to explain that Bhagavad Gita. By doing that, I will be standing out. I'll become extraordinary. I'll be different from others. There are so many people doing Gita classes. One more person doing Gita class? No. I don't feel it like that. Remember, everybody is doing business. Are you the only person? Are you the only one doing? On any given day, any Muhurtam day, there are hundreds of marriages happen, no? Correct? One more person getting married. And you go to the register office, you will see 10 fellows standing there. Couple. To register the marriage. Which means what? You are one amongst the 10. Do you feel it that way? Huh? No. There are so many cars. So many people own car. I am also owning. Oh, no, that is not the way you see your car. The way you see your car is what? So many of them have kids. I am also having a child. What a big thing about it. What an excitement. When Purni was born, that the entire hospital got so excited. Unnecessarily, they made a panic there. And then they got relaxed. And then they felt, wow. They are so great, sir. Because the doctors had some complications and all. There is nothing complications there, actually. Some complications and all these things. And, they said, you have to do the surgery now. There's, C-section to be done. And then what to do now? I said, you have to do C-section. You keep one more doctor with you. You don't do alone. Sir, no doctors available. I said, find out. We'll be there. And one fellow came from Tanjore for that. He had no clue. Who am I? Nothing. Simply the fellow came. What a divinity, sir. The person came and nothing was there. Went on so smooth. So excited about all that. I said, I think it's going to happen. What is the big deal about it? One more child is born. And that lady, that nurse, brought that child. And she is handing over to me. I said, I don't know how to hold a child. A newborn. No, I don't know. You hold, I'll see. She looked at me. Are you actual father or? What an excitement. What is there to get excited? One more child is born. And that doesn't mean you got to mourn. Your population explosion. Crack. One more. But then what? Do you feel it that way? That particular action, particular result makes you feel only such actions you will start. Otherwise, you will not start. And he says, Sarva Arambha means what? Not at all any particular action he undertakes. With the idea of what? What is the tyaga he does here? Tyagi, parityagi means what? There is no notion of the particular result. Don't say result. Generally, we say what, no result orientation. It's not just a result orientation. No particular result orientation. Because every action will produce a consequence. So automatically, action has to produce a result. If you perform action, it will have a result. But when you are performing action, you are not performing that action with the particular result in mind. Parityaga. Our problem is Tyaga is scared, worried. Because every time you use the word Tyaga, you carry along with that a notion, renunciation, relinquishment, all these words. You carry a notion of a loss. See, you're losing something you think. It's like a person who is not willing to throw the garbage, keep the garbage out for collection. And he claims what? I have relinquished the garbage. You're keeping it out, no? I don't think these garbage collection people come inside your house and snatch it and run away. What is that? Leave it. Garbage, what are you collecting? The moment you see all this doesn't carry a value, then relinquishment is possible. So long as you believe, so long as you have added value to things, to the action and the result, it is impossible for you to relinquish them. No ways. So Sarvarambha Parityagi means the one whose actions were not stemming from incompleteness or dissatisfaction. Sarvarambha Parityagi. His actions are not stemming. All our actions are stemming from where? Gunatita's action is coming. Our actions coming from a sense of incompleteness, a sense of dissatisfaction with the current, with whatever I have, with whatever I am. I am not satisfied with whatever I am. So I have to perform action so that this dissatisfaction in me will disappear once I achieve the result. Performing action is not going to disappear. Remember, dissatisfaction produces action, but that action is not going to fill that incompleteness. Then what is going to remove? The result that action produces is going to remove that dissatisfaction. All with me? The belief. All actions are stemming from where? All arambha means undertakings, actions. All actions are stemming from this notion of incompleteness and dissatisfaction with the present. I am not happy. Then what? I do action. Is the action produces that satisfaction? No. It is the result of that action with the belief or the anticipation of the result removing that dissatisfaction. I engage in action. With that? Get it? If actions were performed without the understanding, what is understanding? No result is going to fill that dissatisfaction. The result is not going to fill that dissatisfaction. that is not going to make any difference to my position. I am going to remain shackled. Only difference is what? All that we are claiming to be freedom and this and all this is exactly like the tiger which is in the cage was put in Bannarghatta Park. Bannarghatta Park is there. No? From that Bannarghatta Park, some tigers were taken into a safari. No? I don't know how big is this? About 500 acres. There are safaris which is about 1,000 acres or so, 2,000 acres. Huge. A cage is what? 8 by 8 size or 8 by 10 size is the cage. A tiger which is in the cage, when it is taken from the cage to the safari, it thinks what? No. A jungle is totally different. All that we are doing is shifting only from cage to a park. Of course, that's better. If you ask, sir, which is better? Definitely, I'll say safari is better. A park is better. But definitely, no way you can compare that tiger to a tiger in the jungle. Because the tigers in Bannarghatta know exactly what time the fellow will bring the food. It knows the spots. That's how these guys also take us. They take you for a drive, no? They know exactly where they'll be. And they'll take you. And you see that, wow, that's not a real tiger. Real tiger, you want to know, na? You have to go to the jungle. You may not come back. If the tiger sees you, you see the tiger, it's okay. If the tiger sees you, there's a risk. So he says, Sarvaramba Parityagi means what? One who does not undertake any actions with the notion that the result is going to remove that dissatisfaction, discontentment, the void, incompleteness in him. That doesn't mean he will not do any action. Immediately he'll say, oh, doesn't mean, he will not do anything, sir. He will be simply sitting. Krishna himself is speaking, no? Right? He's Gunatita. Krishna is doing more work than Arjuna. So then what is it? His actions will continue. Remember, it's not that his actions will not happen. His actions will be happening with a specific frame. It will work within that framework of one dimension. You can call it as prarabdha. Whatever his prarabdha, that prarabdha he will do actions. One. Another way of explaining that is he performs actions for the sake of loka sangraha, welfare of the world, welfare of others. He has nothing to gain from that action, but all his actions were done for the benefit of the world too. Or he will be doing actions for his survival, existence, like eating, sleeping, walking, all this. They also eat, no? They also breathe, right? It's not the Gunatita will not breathe. No, his breathing is for Loka Sangraha. He is eating for Loka Sangraha. Please, don't go into that. absurdities. Those actions were falling into the category of survival. You see, for him to survive, he has to. So he performs those actions. Right? So his actions will be falling under first survival, physical. Survival, not in the sense he has to exist in the business, not in that sense, please. That life should be united to the body, a survival. Just for the body to be alive, he will eat. Do all that, whatever to be done. Second one will be his actions will be for the welfare of the world. Lokasakra. 3. Prarabdha karma. Whatever prarabdha he has. We don't know what prarabdha. Prarabdha is there. Yes.
No such sign.
26.
मां च यो व्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते मां च यो व्यभिचारेण
भक्तियोगेन सेवते
सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते.
And he who serves me with unswerving yoga of devotion, he, having duly crossed these gunas, is fit for becoming Brahman. Now he is moving to the third question. How did he transcend the gunas? To transcend the guna, you should be qualified. That's what he is giving here. Kalpate means the one who is fit, qualified. How he gets that qualification? He says he got that qualification by the practice of unswerving yoga of devotion, and he who serves me, the one who serves me with that unswerving devotion. Right. The yoga of Bhakti Yoga. So with the practice of Karma Yoga and the Bhakti Yoga, you become qualified to transcend. So how do you transcend it, sir? First, you should be qualified to transcend. How do you get the qualification? He says by this practice of Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Karma and Bhakti should be done together. That's why he puts it like this. He who serves me with unswerving yoga of devotion. Serves me, that me, you can take it as Krishna, but unfortunately the problem is what? Krishna is not there today. You have his photograph, but that's not Krishna. You see, Krishna is not there. So then what are you going to do? Who is like Krishna? Don't immediately search for people with peacock feather and all that, please. Carry flute. There are fellows who walk around like that also. Costume. I'll a drama artist. Okay. Me means the goal of Gunatita. That's what it means. It's not that personality, please. He's not asking us to worship the personalities. But at the same time, what we have to understand is the concept is impossible for you to connect to. This idea is difficult to connect to, but the personality is easy to connect to. Right? Idea is so difficult, which is what he explained in the 12th chapter, if you remember. Arjuna asked this: should I worship form or formless? He said formless worship is difficult for people. So therefore, form is easier. That is why even though Krishna is not there, we take the idol or the photograph of Krishna as though Krishna. You see, that's the principle. So he says, he who serves me with unswerving yoga of devotion. Unswerving means you understand he is the means and he is the end. The path and the destination both are same. It is the same thing. So the path and destination is one and the same. So such a person who practices this bhakti yoga, yoga of devotion, don't ask me to explain bhakti yoga. You have to do the entire 12th chapter again. No. Bhakti yoga என்ன சொல்றது? In the initial stages, it will appear as though a person wants to pursue God. But slowly he understands, I don't have to pursue God. The whole effort is to perceive God, not pursuing Him. Perceiving Him. Pursuing God is not devotee. Perceive. You see God. Your ability to know one. And we all know the theory of perception. Object, thought, combines, perception happens. Mango has to be there outside, and the thought of mango has to be there in your mind. Then perception of mango happens. Correct. Today your mind were to be occupied on something else. Right. Then mango may be there, but still you will not see that. Isn't it? So mind should be occupied with the thought of mango, and the mango should be there. If mango is not there and your mind is occupied with the thought of mango, you are imagining mango. You are not perceiving mango. Remember, there's a difference between perception of mango and imagination of mango, visualization of mango. Right now, you can visualize mango. You don't perceive mango. Why? Because mango is not there. Mango may be there, but your mind is preoccupied with something. Again, then you don't see. Now, unswerving yoga of devotion means the mind, the thoughts, content entirely has become God. Right? The content for your thought. is what? All your thoughts content is God. That's called unswerving yoga of devotion. Devotion is wanting to see God. When will you be able to see God? You will be able to see God only when your thought content is about God. That is why these people give you this practice of doing this japa, this nama japa to be done. You go to the temple, you go and visit this, keep seeing, keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating. This much of arati is to be done, this many cycles to be done, and all these things. Then you will see God. Like you say, Tyagaraja did this 9 crore times he repeated Rama. If you do that, you will also see Rama. I know, breathing in and breathing out in his entire lifetime. Every breath, even if you would have had, it is not equating. Right? Then how did he manage? What it means is that entire thought, mind's thoughts, the whole thought content is only Rama. Then you will see Rama. That is this perception. A devotee is one who wants to see God, has a passion to see God. Anyone, anywhere you have affection, you'll want to see, no? Isn't it? And after seeing, what do you have to do? Seeing is not enough. You have a hug. Another level. It keeps going. At no point of time you are going to be satisfied with the idea that the lover and the beloved separated. It's impossible. More the love, more and more and more you have to go closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And a point has to come where it is inseparable. You can't separate the two things. The same affection, love were to be directed towards the higher. That's what Narada says. What is bhakti? Prema swarupa is bhakti, affection. In affection, what you do is the same thing you do in bhakti also. No difference. Only difference is object of your affection differs. If the object of affection were to be lower, it's called love. If the object of affection were to be the higher, it's called devotion. He says, through the devotion, when you have such a devotion, natural consequence of that is seva, service. It's natural. And there's no calculations there. You don't calculate and do service. You see, the essential qualification for service is non-calculation. I have to, but then you should not do unintelligent charity, no, sir. That means what? You are not fit for gunatita. Remember, because remember Arjuna's question. Arjuna's question is, how did he became gunatita? He says, first, get fit. With that fitness, what you have to do? Next verse. So first thing he says is the fitness. Who is fit? Who is qualified? The one who has that unswerving devotion. A natural consequence of that unswerving devotion is service. Such a person is qualified to become gunatita through verse 27, which is what he already explained in verse number 19-20. Okay, what he is going to say now, he has already stated that earlier, but he did not specify it there. He just made a statement and moved on to the next idea. Right? That's where immediately Arjuna interrupted with the question. Nicely, he posed the question at that right time. Because Krishna did not refer to the qualification there. You see? So now he puts that qualification. And through this method, he is qualified. such a qualified person were to do verse 27, he becomes Gunatita. He finally lands on Gunatita. And that Gunatita is position, is my Swarupa. So where he is going to land? He is going to land in my lap only, he says. Finally. 27, yes.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च.
For I am the abode of Brahman, immortal, immutable, eternal dharma, being, and absolute bliss. He is describing what that state of Brahman is. Through contemplation on these ideas, he becomes Brahman. And that Brahman is my position. And what is that Brahman? He describes that Brahman. I am the abode of Brahman. So finally, where he is going to come? He is going to reach to my position. My Swarupa only he is going to achieve. Then me and him will become one and the same. So he will also become Krishna. I will also become Bhakta. So there is no difference between the Bhakta and the deity. There is no difference there. What is the nature of Brahman? He says, Brahman is immortal. It has no beginning or end. No death. So immediately you'll say what? So something may not be dying, but it will be changing, no? Constantly changing, alive. You're all changing. You're alive, no? He says immediately, Avyaya, changeless. Sashvata, eternal. And it is absolute bliss. Sukha. It is bliss. Yes. That's the state of Brahman. This Gunatita achieves. Yeah.
Om Tat
Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Chaturdasho Dhyayah. Verse 1.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñātvā Munaya Sarve Param Siddhimito Gata. We have this habit of doing the first verse when we complete a chapter. It's a reminder that we have to start the study. Now, our next class will